So, my dream is your nightmare, Ysera Unleashed, as you all know by now, my favourite card in all of Hearthstone. So, I'm at 34 health. He has 8 attack on board, plus 2 from the hero power, 2 damage from the hero power. That's looking good to me. I have armor gain in hand, I have a taunt, but Call of the Wild is certainly unexpected. Ignoring Ysera seems sensible. Ultimate Infestation, I think, can help me stabilise somewhat. We can kill off Misha, and then try and make a trade with Ysera. We know it's not Freezing Trap. But let's see if we can get some good dragons here. That's meh. That's really good. That means with Coldara Drake, we can hero power multiple times. I like that a lot. That's terrible. Come on, Ysera. You can do better than that. Okay, that's better. That's an 8-8. Of course, Pressure Plate kills are one of our better dragons. But, you know, we're in a reasonable position here. He is 9 attack on board, plus 2 damage from the hero power. That's 11 damage. Next turn, we can stabilise with armor gain. So, this doesn't look too bad. However, my opponent plays Zul'jin. And I've not seen that card played in a long time. It's gone out of fashion in Hunter and Wild mode. Even in slower Hunter decks, you don't tend to see it played anymore. And if you look at all the damage that he's now accumulated, that is 24 damage on that board. That's lethal. And well played to my opponent. He had the wherewithal to create board space to get those animal companions back. That's a good heads-up play. So my opponent sent me a friend request and I accepted it. And the first thing that gets said by my opponent is, noob, your dream is noob. Clearly here, my opponent has an issue with Ysera Unleashed and her Dream Portals. Either he has suffered against Ysera, where an opponent must have played Ysera and got really good dragons, or he himself has actually played Ysera Unleashed and got really poor dragons from the Dream Portals. Clearly does not like that card. Anyway, the toxic nature of this... I mean, it's not terribly toxic. He's not swearing and he's not going off with really foul sort of language. He's not threatening me in any way. But still, just the nature of the conversation, I just think there's no positivity to it. It's therefore completely unnecessary. So I would appeal to everyone out there that's playing Hearthstone, please. If you're engaging with other people, try and be as positive as you can be. Life is too short not to be positive. That's my appeal to everyone out there. So after that, I accepted the friend request because I was curious as to what he would say, right? My hope was that he'd send me the request and then we could discuss his Hunter deck because I was curious about the deck. I wanted the deck code because I really liked how his deck was functioning. Unfortunately, I don't think my opponent, after what he said, was worth engaging with. And yeah, it's just unfortunate. Anyway, today's deck is Getmeowth's Jade Druid. So, Getmeowth is an awesome wild mode streamer. He published a video recently showcasing decks that people should be playing to ladder up post-nerf. And this is his version of Jade Druid. And I like double overgrowth in this deck. You could essentially work to cheat out guardian animals a lot sooner, particularly if you combine Lightning Bloom and those overgrowths for serious ramp. A bit later in this video, I will be comparing Getmeowth Jade Druid, so the deck you see in front of you here, with Memnarch Jade Druid. The decks are similar, but there are some key differences. So it'll be interesting to see which deck I feel is more effective by the end of the video. Jade Druid, I absolutely love to play. I think it's a solid deck in the current meta. I think Tempo Storm Meta Snapshot places Jade Druid as a tier 2 deck. It would make sense. The armor gain and cheating out Guardian Animals means you can survive and outvalue aggro. And against Rito Priest, you may be lucky enough to gain enough armor to survive the Shadow Reaper and to win turns with hero power. May be lucky enough. So let's have a look at the deck in action. And it's against a Hunter. Okay. You can see the communications with my previous opponent there being underway. So, Reno Hunter. Wow. I assume he's going to take Wild Growth here. Okay, so we can't ramp just yet. We're one turn away from coining out Overgrowth. Now, I may as well just remove the 3 damage from the board. Otherwise, what else was I going to do on that turn? There was nothing else to do. So we're on the ramp plan now. Coin Overgrowth next turn, and then reevaluate where we sit. The plan is to cheat out Guardian Animals as quickly as possible, and yes, there is the Wild Growth from the Zephyrus. He's ramping too. And interesting to note, by the way, this deck plays 2 copies of Jade Idol. Most Jade Druid decks that I've played in the last couple of months only play a singular copy of Jade Idol. So I'd be curious to know the justification for that. I guess in some situations, being able to create a token on the board with that additional idol is valuable against aggro decks. That token that you create may contest something that they play early in the game. And then you have that second copy of Jade Idol that you can store for the late game and then shuffle it. So Guardian Animals. We have 7 mana. It's worth playing. That trap could be Freezing Trap. It is. Fair play. But this game is going to be really interesting because Reno Hunter obviously will play Deathstalker Rexar. Oh, there's Dragonbane in this deck. Ah, interesting. I just always thought of Dragonbane as a standard mode card or something that focused heavily on aggression rather than control, and by the nature of him being a Reno deck, I just wasn't expecting Dragonbane. Anyway, Deathstalker Rexar generating the endless stream of beasts, zombie beasts. I wonder how Jade Druid would fare against that, because it can take some time before we can shuffle those Jade Idols. Build up the army of Jade Golems. It could take some time. And during that time, maybe he can outvalue us with his beasts. And he's played Deathstalker Rexar quite early, so he's just going to start that generation process from now on. So we could be dealing with some really big threats that will be coming out onto the board. On a positive note, That's a big threat. On a positive note, we have Ultimate Infestation, so we can get card draw. And notice that this deck does not run Poison Seeds. That's another inclusion that's missing. So actually dealing with a board of big beasts, we are going to struggle because we don't have Poison Seeds. But our Jade Golem army is slowly growing. We're up to 3-3 in stats now. Hero power last, by the looks of things, which I think is a bit of a mistake. But I do it all the time. We all do it, don't we? Okay, wasn't quite hero power last. He played a minion. But I think he should have hero powered at the start before playing the secrets. Okay, sure. Oh, that's annoying. We can't trade in and kill that. We have to hero power it down as well. Sure. Probably should have done this first. Actually, no. I shouldn't have. Because if we'd done that, the minion would have learnt the spell. And when we kill it, shuffle a copy of the spell into the deck. So no, the ordering was fine there, I think. No minions in hand. Sure. And those 3 bodies that he's got on the board there, that he's summoned, have to be 3 of the worst things he can get because he can't attack with them. That's hilarious.
The circle of life is over.
So poisonous spiders is a solution potentially to big beasts that he generates. I'm wondering about the timing of playing Ysera Unleashed, because then we can Ultimate Infestation and put a load of dragons onto the board. That may be how we win this game, before the board just gets flooded with more big threats, more big beasts that he generates.
Is it cold in the shadows?
Oh, that's frustrating. Hero power last again. Wow. Okay. Spreading Plague? Just to stall for a bit?
Blight and rot.
I don't know how I felt about that turn. Would I have wanted to develop Ysera? And did I trade correctly with the minion before playing the Plague? Anyway, let's not dwell on past plays. 3/6 Poisonous Taunt, bloody annoying.
Free of that blasted tower.
But we can get through it. And we're also going to get some Behold value as well, which is nice.
Blight and rot.
We're going to ignore those. Behold! Those minions are taking up space on the board. I think that's a good thing. And maybe he can't do anything with them. Is there any way for him to magnetize the bomb He's a Reno deck. Would he play Ziliax? I think that's a consideration. Oh, that's unfortunate. He silenced it and then killed it.
The web unravels.
Okay. Ysera. Give me some good dragons.
My dream is your nightmare.
Love this entrance. Love the animation. Okay. So the potential for Ultimate Infestation next turn. This is looking reminiscent of our first game at the start of the video, Call of the Wild. I wonder if he's got Zul'jin. Although playing Zul'jin and cancelling out Deathstalker Rexar's hero power isn't very good. Oh my god! We get the bloody whelp again. This really is reminiscent of the game from the start of the video. Ysera's dragons are not doing great for me today. We're concerned about Freezing Trap.
Sleep now.
It's not Freezing Trap. Okay. Okay, sure. I think the priority, if it was Freezing Trap, the priority was killing Leok. Making sure Leok dies so the rest of the board doesn't get the attack power buff. That's why I ordered it in the way that I did. That's terrible. Well, I think in this situation we need to UI. Can we get some good dragons now? That's average. That's okay, it's a 5/5. Beautiful. The hunter becomes the hunted. Is that what he said? Oh. And 12/12. That's game. Yeah. He had no defense against that board of dragons. Ysera Unleashed wins games when she gives you good dragons.
Here for a lesson?
Okay, let's test the Getmeowth Jade Druid deck out against a Demon Hunter. Keeping Lightning Bloom and spreading Plague. Lightning Bloom, hopefully, to cheat out something like Guardian Animals, if we can get it.
None will survive.
Or even Lightning Bloom into Oaken Summons, or Lightning Bloom into Overgrowth. Those are both options to consider. Or even Lightning Bloom into Spreading Plague to put a Wall of Taunts onto the board if he goes super wide. But by the looks of things, he just wants to hero power. Sure. Lightning Bloom into Jade Blossom. Why do I not like the sound of that? I guess the overload effect would frustrate me. Next turn, I'm not going to be able to do anything. He kills the minion. Okay, we're back to square one. Well, I guess that's fine. Because turn 4, we play straight into Oaken Summons. If we get Vargoth from Oaken Summons, it could just be game over for him. because we get the double armor gain. It'll be 12 armor, plus a taunt on the board, plus Vargoth. Doing all of that for 4 mana is pretty broken, even to this day. Okay, no Vargoth, but still, 6 armor and a 3/9 taunt is still fine. Okay, he silences it, of course. He wants access to our face, sure. Interesting. Huh. There he is. Behold and behold into nothing. So, this version of Jade Druid only playing 1 copy of the Zuldrak Ritualist. So anyway, Vargoth gives us the armor then. We don't summon a minion, but we still get the armor. I'm okay with that. Gosh, what is it with this deck and rush minions? He loves his rush minions. This is a version of Demon Hunter that I've not seen recently. So I guess I'm not entirely sure what to expect as these turns head on. Is he going to summon more rush minions? Is that what we have left to come? Anyway, we've set up quite nicely now for Ysera Unleashed, so that's a possibility next turn. I suppose he can't kill the 3/7? Oh, maybe he can. No, he can't. Oh, sure. He just preemptively attacked into it. Interesting.
My dream is your nightmare.
My dream is your nightmare. Let's get those sweet dream portals into the deck. And pray. Cross our fingers and pray for good dragons. Look, if the Demon Hunter is hitting my minions and not my face, I'm very happy with that. I mean, we're at such a significant health total here, including armor. A Demon Hunter on turn 7 does not want to be facing a Druid with this much armor and health, honestly. Whoa, he tanked his Ysera. Gosh.
Our enemies will fall.
That was an interesting play.
Sleep now.
What did targeting Ysera do for him? What benefit did he really gain? Should he have thrown his attack damage face? Interesting. So, Twilight Runner is a real blessing in Jade Druid at the moment. Being able to use Twilight Runner to draw Dream Portals onto the board. To be able to draw copies of Jade Idol late in the game when you've been shuffling them.
I will have vengeance.
I think that's really significant.
Serve your master.
More rush minions. Oh, that's interesting. At least he can't kill the second Twilight Runner. Fascinating deck that he's playing. So we can attack with the Twilight Runner, draw some Dream Portals. That's terrible. Can we do better with the second portal? Okay. Third portal? Sure. Okay. That's pretty good. Oh, right. We need to kill the 3/1. I forgot about that. Still, I don't think it matters with this board being what it is.
If I must. Enough.
So we could add a taunt for good measure. And I suspect that's game over. And this is just overkill, what we're doing here. We're also freeing up space in our hand for UI again, if needed. But I suspect this is now game over. He doesn't get through the wall of taunts. Oh, he's trying to trigger an AoE. Oh. No dragons in my hand, unfortunately, so no AoE for him. I can't believe that these rush minions are good enough. Even if you combo them with a Wrathscale Naga, like he tried to do earlier, I just don't think it's enough, right? I don't see anyone else playing this kind of Demon Hunter deck on Wild.
I yield for now.
Interesting. Okay, so that was the Getmeowth Jade Druid deck. I'd just like to compare it now to the Memnarch Jade Druid deck. The Memnarch deck on the right-hand side is what you can find on the Tempo Storm and Meta Snapshot. Currently, Jade Druid is tier 2. Now, the differences between the decks. So, the Getmeowth deck runs double Overgrowth for that ramp into Guardian Animals. The Memnarch deck does not run Overgrowth. Memnarch's deck runs Starfall. One copy of Starfall, I think, particularly useful in a very aggressive meta, particularly useful where you've played Poison Seeds and also need to clear the board with Starfall. And the Memnarch deck, it's also playing double Poison Seeds, whereas the Getmeowth deck does not play Poison Seeds at all. So, which deck do I prefer? Well, let's have a look at the Memnarch deck in action now. And our opponent this time is a priest. Specifically a Reno priest. So to provide an on-curve play with our mana, do we play the Twilight Runner? I think we do. The temptation was to play Oaken Summons to try and find Vargoth. The longer you leave it, the more likely you are to draw Vargoth in your hand or to draw the Zildrak Ritualist. Razar on 5, by the way. Razar on 5. Oh, of course. I waited for a turn because I wanted to use my mana efficiently on 5. And I get punished for it. Note to self. Always play Oaken Summons as early as possible then. To maximise your chances of pulling Vargoth onto the board. Still, it's not the end of the world because I can combo Vargoth with Ferocious Howl. That's significant armor gain. I can combo Vargoth and Branching Paths. That's very impressive in its own right.
Share your thoughts with the class now.
Plays Mind Render Lucia. This is bizarre because he's just given me Spawn of Shadows. What was he hoping for?
Free of that blasted tower.
He wants to deny me Vargoth, sure. But what was he hoping for? Was he hoping to find Jade Idol in my hand and then play it or shuffle it? Huh. I would question the timing of Lucia. If it was Jade Idol he was looking for, I can understand the intention. But he's willingly given me Spawn of Shadows. And I see Spawn of Shadows as his win condition.
What was I thinking
specifically. Considering the amount of armor that I can gain as a druid, Spawn of Shadows really is what you need to shred that armor. But I have a choice between the Spawn and Reno. Do I want to deny him Reno Jackson? Do I care about Reno Jackson?
Yes.
Are we too bothered about my opponent having access to Reno? I don't think we care about Reno. Spawn is the minion
Save the ritual!
that we need to play out here. Zero cost Bog Beam, sure. At least we can utilize it here.
Are you afraid of the dark?
Right, so we just play stuff and give him the worst dragon out of this lot. To me, that's Chillmore. The other two dragons give him dragons back to hand, and we don't want that. The Chillmore AoE, I'm not too bothered about as a Jade Druid. Because we're in this for the long game. It's fine. Behold! Sure. Still does not clear my entire board, by the way. Now I know that Ysera Unleashed was mana efficient there. 8 mana. But I've learnt my lesson with Oaken Summons. So I had Guardian Animals in hand. May as well just play Guardian Animals and get the value from it. Before I draw all of my beasts into my hand and then Guardian Animals does nothing for me. He's playing Frizz, which would suggest he's a dragon-centric deck, and there's a very good friend of mine, the Pinnacle. Super cool dude, by the way. Super nice dude as well. I have some great conversations with him. He cheers me up so much. That's one of the wonderful things about the community I engage with, and that includes all of you, by the way, watching this video. I am so fortunate and so lucky to be engaging with some wonderful people. 99% of the people I engage with here on YouTube and on Twitter and in-game on Hearthstone are wonderful. I think that is one of the benefits of having a small channel. My channel has just over 2k subscribers. Comparative to other Hearthstone channels, I guess I'm small.
At last.
I guess putting out niche content relating to wild mode and having a small but very loyal audience helps in terms of engaging with lovely people.
A simple spell.
So to all of you out there watching this, not only thank you for watching this video, but thank you for just being so positive and so nice and so friendly. It makes such a big difference. It really, really does.
Still half asleep, it seems.
Discover a copy of a minion in your opponent's deck. Of course, there don't appear to be any minions left in our deck. So it's pretty cute.
The circle of life is over.
Save the ritual!
I just want to prioritise with Arm again. Using the hero power to kill his minion perhaps would have been efficient, but I think the armor is a better fit for us. Although, do I need to worry anymore? Spawn of Shadows is gone. He gave it to me freely through Mind Render.
I must consider.
But the fact that he did that makes me think that there must be another win condition in his deck. Maybe he's playing Malagos. That's fine. Don't care about that. Maybe he's playing Malagos. Maybe he's playing Mind Blast. And another damage spell of some kind? I don't know. I doubt it. Therefore, it must be that he didn't know how to play Mind Render. He got confused. The Pinnacle hates Priest. Yes. So do quite a few other people as well. Sure. Bit of armor, why not? Do you know one thing that scares me with Priest? In the past, I'd occasionally come across Togwaggle Priest. And... oh, bloody hell, Draconoid Operative. That's the other thing I'd come across. And what they would do is, with either Togwaggle or Draconoid OP, and it is OP, they would steal Jade Idol. And they would become the Jade Priest, so to speak. That was quite frustrating. Yeah, I'm lucky here that he hasn't stolen the Jade Idol. I've kept it in hand, resisted any urge to shuffle it. The old me, from 2 or 3 months back, would have been shuffling Jade Idol by now. And just drawing copies of it and playing them on board to start building up the Golem army. But after getting burned by Draconoid Operative in the past, I've trained myself to try and be a little bit more conservative with Jade Idol, i.e. hold it in hand, so I can be sure that it's not going to get stolen. Particularly when you're facing a dragon variant of Reno Priest. Just have to be really cautious about that Draconoid Operative and wait until you see it played before you start shuffling Jade Idol. My dream is your nightmare once again. Let's see, Sarah, what will you give us? What will you give us? We've yet to see Psychic Scream. Just catching up the pinnacle there on the background to this game. So, comparing this to the Getmeowth deck, the Getmeowth deck had double Overgrowth in it. Would I have benefited from Overgrowth in this particular matchup against the Priest? Possibly, if it would have let me cheat out Guardian Animals sooner. This deck has Poison Seeds in it, the Getmeowth deck does not have Poison Seeds. Has Poison Seeds helped me so far? Not really. This is unfortunate. That dragon is going to give him some coins. That's actually pretty scary. He can use it with his hero power. These dragons are not great. Really not great. Come on, Ysera.
Sleep
You
now.
can do better than that.
Unity, precision, perfection.
I don't know if it would be correct to pop the shield there. I've prioritised with armour. I don't know if I should have attacked into the Divine Shield with the hero power. Looking at his plays here, he didn't go face with the Ziliax. I think my play was fine with the armor prioritization. It's been a while since I've seen Dustbreaker.
I hope you like my invention.
So, looking at the cards that are left in the deck, maybe we get a Dream Portal this turn. Yes, we do. And what dragon comes forth? Ooh, it's got spell damage.
Storm
of your demise.
Spell damage is handy. Now I feel safe. We've seen Draconoid OP. I feel safe shuffling the Jade Idols. And I think I want a board clear here. Guess we hero power it down. Protect the 5/7. 28 armor and 28 health. I think is fine. We have branching paths to gain armor in an emergency. But the fact that he hasn't conceded, the fact that he's still continuing to play this game, even though Spawn of Shadows is gone, once again makes me think he has got a plan to still try and win this game. He has some other kind of win condition. You know, it's not N'Zoth, because he's not playing Death Rattles as such in his deck. He's a dragon deck. The Pinnacle saying, we're fine, just play safe. See, that's the trouble with me. I'll play it safe for most of the game. And then I'll just mess it all up over 1 or 2 turns. Dragon Queen Alexstrasza. You see, now there's the Poison Seeds target, potentially. Maybe not the 2/3. Gosh, he's still insistent on trying to shred my armor. Okay, Dream Portal. What do you give us? Okay. Okay, sure. So is the plan now to keep shuffling Jade Idols and then eventually draw them with UI? But there's a 8/8 on the board. Do I Poison Seeds here just to deal with that 8/8? It's a shame because we have Nazari, which is a 4/12, and we'd lose that. That's good stats. But it doesn't contest Alexstrasza. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold off for a bit. I feel happy using 1 copy of Spreading Plague because I know I've got the other one in hand should I need it. So hopefully he throws the 8/8 into the taunt, and then we'll see what he develops next turn and decide whether or not we Poison Seeds. That's my thinking there. Don't know how correct it is. He may have a spell that deals with 1/5, and then he may push 8 to the face. He's targeting... Oh, Forbidden Words. On the Nazari, sure. He could have targeted the 1/5, he didn't. So he doesn't push 8 to the face. The Pinnacle says, my opponent has got nothing left, he thinks. This is a Reno Priest that's playing dragons, so he's not to be underestimated. We don't know what else is in that deck. And that's an unfortunate dragon. Not what we wanted. Are we forced to hero power down Alexstrasza? Or do we just Poison Seeds here instead? I think we Poison Seeds. I do not want to take 8 to the face, if I can help it. Happy to take 2 to the face, though. From a Treant. That's fine. So, we've got Jade Idols shuffled into the deck. I think we're in a relatively good position. What other big threats are left to come? Oh my goodness. Bone Drake has given him the 2nd copy of Draconoid Operative.
It is not yet your turn.
And he's now got Jade Idol. That's a potential win condition for him. Because it's going to give him an endless stream of Jade Idols now to play, shuffle and play, in combination with the hero power. The only advantage that I've got going for me is that I'm slightly ahead with the size of my Jade Golems. And we need to keep ahead, because that's the only way we win the game. It feels bad using the last copy of Poison Seeds there, but I think it was worth it to avoid taking that much damage. I didn't attack into one of the minions because I'm waiting for a wider board to be built so we can spread in Plague. Just depends if he commits. That's a commitment, sure. And that's it. Okay, that's it. Shuffle again to fill up our deck. And I think next turn maybe Ultimate Infestation to draw a load of idols. My conversation with the Pinnacle continuing there in the background. Psychic Scream. Wow. Well, he's just giving me a load of useless stuff back into my deck. And look at my armor count now. It is being shredded consistently. Slowly but consistently. Sure, penance, fine. I think what I need to start doing now is growing the Jade Golems. He's up to a 3-3. We're at 5-5. So there actually isn't that much of a difference between us at this point in time. So we need to develop. We've seen Psychic Scream, so he's going to have to find some other way to clear this. This is all going to be about board pressure now going forward. We have 3 armor gain every turn from our hero power, but depending on how many Jade Idols he can draw into his hand, he could have multiple shots with his hero power. Ooh, Plague of Death. Did not anticipate that at all. Did I overcommit on that board? Was that a mistake on my part? A failure on my part to read into what he could potentially have still to clear the board, even after seeing Psychic Scream. Likewise, is this an overcommitment? Should I have held back on committing 3 of these minions to the board? Is he actually going to be able to kill the 8-8? He's actually going to do it. He's actually going to kill the 8-8. But look, on a positive note, those are shots from his hero power that are not hitting my face. They're hitting the minion. Our face is safe for now. And he's still not developing Jade Golems sufficiently onto the board. We are well ahead on that front. And it's in moments like this that you really appreciate the deck tracker. Just telling you how many golems, how many idols you have left remaining and what other minions you have in the deck. Really, really useful. I'm trying to think back to the days before the deck tracker. Ooh, Mass Hysteria. I had forgotten about that. That was created by Shadow Visions, which means he has another copy of it in the deck, I think. Oh, I love that word, clutching. The Pinnacle, they're saying, my opponent is clutching. That's great language. Okay, so the 9/4 is going to die this turn, for sure.
Shadowy thoughts.
But again, it's hero power pings that are going onto the minion and not to my face. That's important. How embarrassing would it have been if my priest opponent started growing Jade Golems at a faster rate than me? How embarrassing would it be? I would have to hang my head in shame as a Jade Druid and retire the deck permanently, I think. The Pinnacle, they're making a really good point. So I said to the Pinnacle that my opponent has Reno, and that, you know, I could keep smashing his face with the Golems, but he'll just Reno up to 30. But by shuffling the Golems into the deck, he has duplicates, which means his Reno Jackson is going to be useless. So actually, maybe the strategy really is to push as much damage face as I possibly can. Because we know he's going to struggle to Reno. There's the original Mass Hysteria. That's an interesting use of it. Would you not have waited another turn? Until I developed another Jade Golem? Fascinating. And would I have lost this game by now if he had Spawn of Shadows? If he hadn't given it up to me so easily? Would I have lost this game if Spawn of Shadows was being played? I'm just going to attack now. Why not? If Reno is useless, why not just attack face and put him under severe pressure? With the cards he has in hand, he cannot kill us with his hero power. Oh, there's a 5/5. He actually finally develops on the board. But we're just too far ahead.
We're gonna be rich.
Now that's the kind of Reno you like to see. Tempo, Reno, no healing. And I think this is game over. This is cute. I had completely forgotten that guardian animals can bring out a scarab. It's a beast. The Pinnacle had to remind me of that in our chat. I completely missed that point. And that's it. There is nothing he can do. He can't kill the 12/12. He can't get through the taunt. And even if he could, I'd just hero power him down next turn and win the game. So, wow, what a game. What an absolutely intense game, at least on my part. Seeing him play Elusha on that earlier turn, the Mind Render.
Darkness speaks to me.
I try to figure out why he did that. And then trying to play around Draconoid Operative, because I knew it was a dragon-based deck. I play around it by keeping Jade Idol in hand and not shuffling it, so he can't discover it. He plays Draconoid Operative, and I think I'm safe. And then Bone Drake gives him another Draconoid Operative. What were the chances? He plays that, gets the Jade Idols, but hasn't been fast enough at developing them. And it's game over for him. That is a summary of this game.
Shadowy thoughts. I'm out of cards.
And that was incredibly satisfying, to say the least. Okay, so you've just seen Memnarch's Jade Druid deck in action. And I said at the start of the video I wanted to compare the Getmeowth deck with the Memnarch deck, having had now an opportunity to play both decks. I really like both decks. Both decks have their own specific advantages. And I think it comes down to what kind of meta you're facing. So looking at the Memnarch deck, it has Starfall. If you're facing aggro, Starfall can be a lifesaver, an unexpected lifesaver. Starfall is also really good at clearing up the treants from poison seeds. The Getmeowth deck runs more ramp in terms of overgrowth, and that's good because you can get closer to playing guardian animals, closer to playing a Ysera Unleashed, closer to ramping into Malfurion. The ramp has value. But there's also the fact that on turn 10, if you get overgrowth and play it, you can draw a card. And that is often underestimated, I find, or not talked about very much. Drawing a card post turn 10 with overgrowth can mean that you draw into a dream portal, which can put a dragon down on the board that has taunt and it saves your life. Drawing a card with overgrowth post turn 10 can mean you find a spreading plague that suddenly saves you from aggro. So there's value in overgrowth in different ways, and I think it's useful. The Memnarch deck has poison seeds, the Meowth deck does not. How useful is poison seeds? Well, I've been facing mech paladins lately. I've been facing big shamans. I think poison seeds is excellent against those decks, particularly against mech paladin, where they go all in on magnetizing a big mech and then suddenly just poison seeds and win the game. So I guess it's all meta dependent. I guess it's all dependent on what you're facing, right? A lot of the core cards between these two decks are still the same. You just need to choose what cards to tech in or tech out depending on what you're facing on the ladder. I think it's as simple as that. So yes, thank you very much for joining me, everyone. Thank you to Getmeowth, thank you to Memnarch for these two different lists. I've really enjoyed playing both of them. And I will see you all again very soon, as always, for more Wild Mode fun. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, take care of yourselves, look after yourselves, stay safe, and best of luck to all of you on the Wild Mode ladder.